I'm going to critique the crown jewel of Bel Air. So if you decide to buy, design, or build a property there, you won't make the same mistakes. I'm going to give it an Arvin score at the end of the video based on my 10 principles of quality, so make sure you watch that. Let's watch the video together.
Bel Air isn't just a neighborhood. It's a name that echoes luxury, legacy, and quiet power.
No, dude. What's up with the conspiracy? It's just like a neighborhood. What do you think? It's like a compound of Scientologists? It's just an expensive neighborhood. It's not that deep.
Tucked into the hills above Los Angeles, it's where privacy meets prestige. Where the homes aren't just homes, they're statements. And right here, at 10721 Stradella Court, we're standing at the pinnacle of that promise. This isn't just one of the most spectacular properties in Bel Air. It's one of the most expensive homes ever sold in the US.
He's not wrong about that. This house has sold twice. Once for $60 million in 2020, and another time, more recently in 2024, for $92.8 million. That's amazing. For a property of this caliber with this price point to sell twice fairly quickly is good and bad. Good in the sense that there's buyers for it, is transacting, because it takes normally a really long time for these big properties to transact. And the bad is, why the hell did it sell if it was so good? You're going to find out in this video.
With an original asking price of over $100 million, from the moment you arrive, it's clear. This isn't just architecture, it's art.
It's not art. In fact, it's very plain. It's literally a white box with some geometric slide panels in front of the windows to give it a little character. But the actual core of this house is very simple and very, in many ways, generic to a white modern box. And that actually plays to the fact that it has sold twice consecutively, successfully, for very good prices. It's actually far away from art. It's simplicity and its monotone calmness. There's nothing artistic about the architecture of this property that I would say it's significant. I'm going to score it at the end of the video, but it's just not significant.
And I'm very excited today to show you every single detail, every single room, every material, every finish, all of the views, and everything that this amazing home has to offer. So today, in our very first YouTube tour ever, I'm so excited to present to you the crown jewel of Bel Air.
Okay, dude, lay off the GPT-03 with all the phrases and everything. It's not a crown jewel. Definitely doesn't have the lot to be considered the crown jewel. The only property that really does have the head, the lot, to have be the crown on the, the crown jewel, it would be the one. That's the only one who has 7 acres, right? Flat. That's the only one. This is more like a really expensive earring. It's good, but it's no crown jewel.
When you hit the gate, it's clean, understated. It doesn't scream for attention, and that's what makes it even better. The gates open, and you're immediately pulled into this massive motor court.
Okay, he said an interesting phrase. It doesn't scream for attention. You could view it in two different ways. You can say it's architecturally not significant. It's not. But the fact that it blends in and doesn't try to do so much is a really safe equation for developers. A lot of developers thinking, doing more is better, right? Let's throw this stone over here. Let's do this on the facade. Let's do that. Let's do these finishes. Let's do something different. This is a prime example. So open your eyes and pay attention of less is more. Look at the number of colors, palettes, and materials and textures that is introduced in this project. And look at the track record. 2 successful sales. So more doesn't mean better. And you don't have to make it architectural statements. You don't. If you're here to make money, you can still build a pretty good product. Again, it doesn't draw so many opinions to it. And that really opens up the demographic. That's really the whole story of this. You will see inside, outside, everywhere.
The house doesn't tower over you. It's low, sleek, and sculpted into the hillside. Stone, glass, steel, every line sharp and intentional.
Okay, let's look at the material he just mentioned. But if you just look at it from far away, it just all blends in, right? Everything flows in together. You're using concrete gray, right? You've got slight shade of bronze. You got really light brown and charcoal and white. And again, even the plants and the trees have that gray tone to them. It's super soft to the eye. Not trying too hard, not making making too much noise. Just very soft to the eye.
And with the city dropping away in the distance, you know you're standing at one of the best addresses in all of Los Angeles.
It's not the best address in Los Angeles. It's not even in the best part of Bel Air. It's on Upper Bel Air. Like even the one is considered borderline Upper Bel Air. And this is maybe 500 feet farther out. So it's not the best address whatsoever. Now, the good news is that it's off a cul-de-sac called Stradella Court. So it's not on Stradella. If it was, that would have been a big negative because Stradella is a pass-through street between the Valley and Lower Bel Air. People use it to avoid 405. It's messy. It's just not good. You don't want to be on the street itself. So in that essence, it's good, but the address is nothing significant.
So now we're going to enter the home through this massive steel pendulum door, and immediately you're drawn to the backyard and some of the best views that I've ever seen of Los Angeles. Now this home is perched on a promontory. The estate offers a 360-degree panoramic view encompassing downtown Los Angeles, the Stone Canyon Reservoir, Century City, and of course, the Pacific Ocean.
Okay, it's got the twin views. Forget about the ocean view. We don't count that. From this part of Bel Air, it's like literally a tiny line. But the main thing here is downtown LA view, which is kind of barely qualified. You just say it's kind of poking above the trees, but it's there. You can see it. It's nice. And Century City. This is called the twin views. But that's not the most impressive thing about this property. Can you spot the most impressive things about this property? I give you 3 seconds. I normally ask my subscribers to spot the flaw. I'm going to ask you to spot the amazing thing about this property. 3, 2, 1. It's the backyard. Right? There's a lot of properties in LA that have this view. What's amazing is that they've freaking spent a ton of money, schoolyard of caissons and foundation to create a massive depth for the backyard. You have a lot of deck, you have a lawn, and you have infinity edge pool. That's really impressive. That's like an engineered promontory, right? They've created it. The lot itself is good, but they've tripled the size of the flat area, and that's why it's selling for really, really high price, because it has the view and it has the flat land on top of the hill.
Now, as I said, everything is sort of centered around the view, but even more than that, this whole backyard is kind of built around the pool. At the heart of the outdoor space lies a stunning infinity edge pool that appears to merge with the horizon. Adjacent to the main residence, a separate private pool complements the detached guest house, offering additional luxury and privacy.
Let's talk about the privacy, because there's almost no one looking in directly. Either the house protects you against the properties behind you that could have had a direct line, and the properties on the other side, you're at the tippity top of this little hill, and the other ones are too far away or these trees are blocking it. And the privacy is utmost important in the ultra luxury. It's literally a binary decision, and privacy for you is also the most important, and that's why I partnered up with NordVPN. I'm not lying when I tell you, at least I've turned down $200,000 worth of sponsors till I find the right one, because they were either I didn't use their service or they were scammy. And when NordVPN reached out, it was an immediate yes, because a year ago, before I was a some sort of whatever YouTuber, I watched the video just like you are, and I signed up. And the first thing I didn't know about NordVPN, and no one ever told me, is that under one account I could use it both for my cell phone, which is super important, and also my desktop. I didn't know that. Nobody told me that. But you already know it hides your IP address. It protects you against malware. It's super important. It gives you an extra layer of protection. But perhaps my favorite thing that is super, super clutch, I follow the Premier League, the team that has been losing for the past 10 years, Manchester United. It's a horrible time to be a fan of Man United. We've been just getting our ass kicked ridiculously bad. But what I like to watch is the highlights from a British perspective. And I can't do that from America because the IP address is blocked for whatever networking. So I switch my location and I watch the highlights in the native language because I like to listen to those commentators. Now, right now, they have a sign up for 2 years and get 4 free months. You can go on the link below. I just watched the video like yours and I signed up, and I'm telling you, I'm super, super happy with them. And I'm going to continue to use them. Super good VPN. Link is below. Sign up and support the channel as well.
And then, of course, this is one of my favorite parts of the home. It's the outdoor kitchen with a sculptural frame built around it. This outdoor kitchen and bar is ideal for entertaining. The space seamlessly integrates with the outdoor living areas, enhancing indoor-outdoor lifestyle, which is kind of what defines living in Southern California.
Okay, look at the architecture. I'm going to score it at the end of the video, but you see how simple it is? It's exposed beams, concrete. You got a geometric shape. I believe those slide left and right where you can, cover the shade and give a little privacy to the interior rooms. It really breaks the facade. That's what it also does. I don't think the shade is that big of a deal. It gives a geometric shape, an accent to the building. Otherwise, it would be a really, really boring white long box. Now, you're thinking long box. Arvin, Is it going to have layout issues? You'll be surprised. And this is a really good case study. Where to position the entrance to the house so you have the least amount of layout issues in a long house. So pay very, very close attention. I'm going to score that in the video.
All right, so let's take a look at the inside main living level of this beautiful hillside mansion. We're starting in the formal dining room. And right away, you can feel a sense of scale and intention here. And just off the dining space, there's this more intimate living room.
This is the formal living space, okay? Now, what I really dislike is that has no functionality, okay? 100%, this should have had a bar or a library or an element of adult entertainment because there's another much bigger living room that I think everyone's going to congregate to. But pay attention to a couple of things at the same time. This is a short video, so you got to have your radars on if you want to learn in this video. Pay attention to the entrance of the house. When we walked in, immediately to your right is this formal living space. To your left is there's that paneling is the dining room, and after that you're going to see kitchen and the family room. By setting it up this way and having these partitions, you eliminate hallways and let the spaces connect with each other in a really, really natural way. And it all has to do with positioning the house in a lot in a way, and the entrance to it, that you divide it in a perfect way, both center to the view, but also dividing the formal spaces on one side and partitioning the other spaces after each other in a smooth way where you will fix the length and the long house problem.
It's cozy, quiet, super refined. And then a little surprise, one of the walls actually opens up and reveals a hidden office. And once you're inside, it's all custom woodwork, tons of natural light.
You see, very simple. Like, again, they didn't reinvent the wheel over here. And again, no hallway. Did you see that? By closing this off and positioning the office right next to the formal living space, first of all, it gave it the separate privacy that it would need, an office would need. It's at the end of the house. It made the house less long by having a secret door there. It didn't stretch the house so long in a way that it would be obvious it's a long house. It achieved a lot. But again, it's not trying to reinvent the wheel with finishes. It's not trying to outdo itself.
Now coming into the main area, sort of the heart of the home, the kitchen and casual dining space really opens things up. You've got these clean, minimal lines, warm natural stone countertops, and an island that's just massive. It's all very sleek, but still very inviting. And just behind the main kitchen, there's a hidden pantry, a full chef's kitchen. It's out of sight, but fully equipped.
I love this stainless steel, very like, okay, let's have a real chef's kitchen here. But the most impressive thing was the connectivity between the dining table, the family room, and the kitchen. Like, you're going to spend a lot of time there. And all these spaces opened up to your massive backyard, which gives you two things, a lot of ground, huge swimming pool, and the gorgeous views, right? Again, that's why it was so important to have a long house, to capitalize on the view, but also partitioning the spaces in a right way so it doesn't look like a long house. It doesn't feel like a long house. You don't have too many hallways. I think it's a perfect execution so far on the lower floor of a long house, how to place it, how to create the entrance and connectivity to have the least amount of hallways and waste.
And finally, about to head up the main staircase, floating treads, architectural lighting, and double-heighted ceiling above pulls you toward the upper level. It's not just a staircase, it's a sculptural element in the home.
No, it is actually not a sculpture. It is only a staircase. And that's what I like about it. A ton of architects would have put this staircase and would have tried to make something humongous out of it, trying too hard. Sometimes you don't need to make a statement. You don't need to do something crazy to get a big price exit. You could tuck the stairway somewhere in the corner away from the eye. Just have a very elegant, nice staircase to come up to do the job. Focus on making sure you have the wow factor when you walk in, which it did. Make sure you have enough entertainment on the right side and the left side to create the connectivity and that walk flow. If anything, I would say this property probably needed a second stairway that doesn't have. I think the vertical connectivity is weak unless they didn't show it in this video. But the one staircase for a long house like this is not enough. They probably should have had one on each side as well to help with that.
We'll start with the primary suite, and it's more like a private sanctuary than just a bedroom. And probably bigger than most New York City 1 to 2 bedroom apartments.
It's slightly on too big for me. I think at one point, having a ginormous bedroom where we actually sleep with so many windows surrounding you, it starts feeling like sleeping in the formal living space. You could have, even by small, simple partition, you could have kind of captured the space and simplified it to make it a little bit cozy and have that kind of cuddle feel and that we naturally feel from our Homo sapien times, and bigger rooms that are not partitioned. I've slept in them, and I'm telling you, it feels not normal. At least I didn't get used to it, okay? Or maybe if you were born into it, you will feel totally normal. But if you're getting rich slowly like I am, right? You've been poor before, that transition is going to feel a little awkward for you till I guess you get used to it.
The bathroom feels more like a spa. Full slabs of marble wrap the walls and the floors. A massive floating double vanity, a soaking tub positioned right next to the glass with those epic mountain views.
Do you see the finishes? First of all, I would say they've done a great job staging it, because this is an overuse of white marble. By the stager recognizing, hey, this is too much marble, throwing a rug there, throwing a very comfortable couch there, back to back, creating a seating arrangement to take that void away and make it feel like an actual place you would hang out is a very good choice of staging. But again, there's two types of material. There is the wood frame, kind of Scandinavian wood color, and white marble. That's it. Two. And it does the job. Sold twice. 60 million, 92.8 million.
The craftsmanship in this room is just next level. And then the closet is seriously impressive. Custom built-ins, glass front display, lighting everywhere. It's basically a high-end boutique, tons of space, and beautifully done.
Do you see they're not even introducing new material? They're being very consistent. You could call it boring even, but they're not taking any risks. Just in here to do the job, make sure the space, the volume, the backyard, the view does the selling. That's an important element, is when you do have the nuts, when you do have the royal flush, let it do the job. I'll give you a prime example. Like when I was younger, I would go on listing appointments, okay? I had this tendency to take a much more experienced agent with myself, but then wanting to do the interview myself. And one of my mentors told me, he said, Arvind, what are you doing? Why did you bring me here? You brought me here to get the listing for you. Why don't you just shut up and listen to what I have to say and learn something? It's exactly the same point, right? When you do have, like, if you're going to get a listing and you take a very experienced agent who's been in many more listing appointments and way more expensive homes they've sold, shut up. Let the guy do the thing. Let them do the job and get the listing, and you do the work, okay? Very important lesson. And it goes the same with a lot of other things in life. This property, you already got the view. You already got the backyard. At that point, you can only F it up, right? Just don't F it up. And they didn't F it up, and they got two great exits.
Now we're going to move through the rest of the second level of this home. The layout is super thoughtful. There are additional guest bedrooms, each with their own vibe, their own views.
Okay, very good volume, but you can see how long it was with this really long hallway, right? It really showcased how long the house is. Upstairs, what's really disappointing, we didn't see a landing area. We didn't see an upstairs living space. That's like a must in this price point. That landing area came off. That was just like a generous hallway. But the bedroom sizes are good. I think it has 9 bedrooms. Very impressive.
And all with ensuite bathrooms and great lighting. No detail has been overlooked in any of these other spaces.
I mean, look at that backyard. Very impressive. You see, talking about the privacy, like these two houses have a direct line of sight from a higher elevation looking in. Quite far away, not ideal. I would take that into account when I'm scoring it.
So now we're going to head down to the lower level, and this is where things get more interesting and a little more zen. This is the entire home's wellness center, and honestly, it's one of the best parts of the property. The gym down here is full on, tons of space, top of the line equipment. Next to that, you have a full spa setup, steam room, dry sauna, and a cold plunge. Everything you would need for a high-end luxury spa.
You had me at the cold plunge. But again, this isn't like it's not really a basement because it opens up. Again, the lot is heavily sloped. They've engineered it. So you're right under your massive caisson backyard swimming pool and everything. And it's a great space. Again, just pay attention how little risk they took. Like this Onyx vanity is, we got crazy. We really went crazy here. They took some risks. You see, there's two things. It's like, do you want to make money and not screw up? Or do you want to make a statement? A lot of architects that you hire want to make a statement for their own sake because they don't even going to live in it. They want some cool picture on their, website. That's why like having a third party to give you advice, have that perspective that like, are you looking for resale? Do you want to make a statement? I'm not against making a statement. If you're artsy fartsy, you want to do that, I'm all game, dude. but you know what you're getting yourself into.
There's a small sitting area, super peaceful, almost hidden. Perfect for a quiet morning coffee or just escaping the noise for a little bit.
Dude, what the hell is this? Is this like a cage for your gorilla? Oh no. Well, who came up with this? At least have some ivy or something. It's like, that's where I keep my monkey. It's like a little satellite sticking out of the property in the hillside. While we're at the hillside, let's talk about fire insurance, because good luck getting fire insurance on this property. I think it's going to be near impossible to get fire insurance for this property for this price point. You got to have some massive relationships, because this part of Bel Air is it's been caught fire before. And when the Santa Ana winds come, it's just super, super dangerous. And the houses at the tip of the hill are extremely vulnerable. What you really want to do if you're looking to buy a hillside property in Bel Air or anywhere in the dry climate, you either have to make sure it already has water sprinklers specialized to turn off the fire, or you have to install one. But the sad news that even if you do that and the fire comes and all the houses next to you get burned and you're the only one standing, are you going to really enjoy living there again? Which throws me back to Palisades, right? I don't know if you've seen the Palisade video I've done. Like, I was planning to go to Palisades myself, right? We wanted to live there. Our goal was to buy something in the, fixer $4 to $5 million range in Huntington, to walking distance to the village. And after the fires, initially we're like, okay, so we might be able to get a better deal. But now, as much as I love Palisades, even if we buy right now, go through the construction phase, 2 years to build it, that's not going to be the same Palisades. And I don't think I want to be there with my kids for the 8 years it's going to take for it to become what it was before, right? Because for 8 years of the sweetest age that I'm going to raise my kids, we're going to be living in a construction area constantly, with the neighborhood looking, in the beginning, 80% empty, 70% empty, 60% empty. It's going to go through many ups and downs. So purchasing hillside in Los Angeles has not just risk of losing everything, but risk of, even if you don't lose anything, life conditions that you might not want.
And then off to the side of the property, there's a guest house. And it's not just a spare room, it's a full setup with its own living room, bedroom, bathroom, and kitchen. It has a private entrance to the home and keeps the same design and vibe as the main house.
It's cool that it's detached. It does look like a mini-me building separate from it. Again, I think it's executed really well. It's a very, very interesting property. Architecturally, they didn't take any risk. The finishes, they didn't take any risk. They did the bare minimum in an elegant way, in a very subtle way, in a very simple way.
It's kind of like a mini version of the main mansion, whether it's for guests, in-laws, or even a creative space, and also has those amazing views that span from the mountains to downtown LA all the way to the Pacific Ocean.
You see this property at the peak of the market. I had an offer on this property for, I think, a $7 million offer, and they turned it down. I wonder if they would take it right now. I don't think my buyer would be interested. Okay, let's go over the Arvin score. With my 10 principles of quality, I'm going to give it an Arvin score. But before I do that, if you're planning to purchase a property and you want to know what I think about it, you can join the Buyer's Lounge on Thursday, 10 a.m. Till 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can also submit your questions. I will record it, do a rapid fire, I will critique your property like I am here, tell you what's good, what's bad, so you won't screw up on your purchase. Let's go over the score. Location, I'm going to give it an 8. It's Upper Stradella. It is off a cul-de-sac street. I'm going to give it an 8. Lot quality. Look, it's a 9. It's not naturally flat, but it's heavily engineered. You do have the frontage. You got close to an acre flat. Lot utilization. You don't have a private driveway. You do have the motor court. You have decent side setbacks with a massive backyard. It's another 8. Privacy. There are 2 houses on one of the hills, kind of far away, that have a direct line of sight, and your neighbors are somewhat close enough to hear you. You can't just have a massive rager there. I'm going to give it another 8. Law orientation. I believe you're southwest facing or west-south facing. It's another 8. Architectural style. It's a 7. It's a very subtle, classy 7. It's literally a white box with these panels that give it a geometric shape. There's nothing significant about it. Now, views. Look, it does have the twin views, but the downtown LA view on the lower level is on the weak side. I'm going to give you the views a 9. And it's also farther away from the city. It's not as tangible. You can't really feel it. Layout. The downstairs, they've fixed the layout issue. I'm really worried and concerned about the vertical connectivity. It seemed like there's only one stairway. If there's more stairways, then that's good, but I don't think there is. And for that reason, I have to give it another 8. But I think it was a prime example of doing a longhouse on the lower level extremely good. Scale and volume. For the ultra luxury and the price point, I think it was a 9. Basement level, the ceiling height dropped for sure. But overall, it was not super, I would say, high ceiling property, but the proportion of each room was really good. The height width to length ratio of each room was very optically pleasant on the eye, and I really liked it. Finishes, this is as good as a 7 you will ever get. And a 7 can kill it. 7 can kill it. I'm telling you, sometimes you don't need to go with finish, especially when you have the nuts. You know you have the best backyard with the view for the price point, and what else is on the market and they don't have it, and you're a particular buyer, as long as you don't alienate with too much accents, it might even be the right thing to do. And I don't think any of the finishes were to a degree disgusting. I think no billionaire will walk into this and say, this is wrong. It might say boring, and they might be like, oh, I'm going to change this and that, but the base is very good. The base palette is really good. So very, very impressive. Now, this is the orange score. Now, if you want to see my favorite penthouse in Brooklyn is this one. I was really impressed by the layout of this penthouse. Really, really impressive. Check it out. And I'm looking forward to see you guys in the comments or the 5-day workshop or the buyer's lounge. It's all linked in the description. And don't forget to sign up for NordVPN, our first sponsor.